What's up everyone, my name is Eric. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are gonna be taking you through exactly how we mount our gigantic Lance 981 truck camper to our Ram 5500 flatbed. I'm gonna take you through the 3 major items that we use in order to keep this bad boy mated to this bad boy. Here we go. So these 2 things here are key components to keeping your truck camper exactly where you want it on your flatbed versus it possibly sliding around. I'll talk to you more about these in a few. First, we gotta get these toolboxes off of there. Now you may or may not have toolboxes for your flatbed, but they're a huge purpose of why you'd wanna have a flatbed, all that extra storage that you gain with said toolboxes. But in order to do something with those beautiful pieces of meat over there, those guys gotta come off. So let's rip them out. So just to showcase to you guys how much stuff you can fit in one of these toolboxes, here's what we got in ours. Just one box. All of this nonsense. So we got cat food stairs from Torque Lift, tubes for floating rivers, 20-ton bottle jack, little tackle box, awning for our hammock, moonshade, protein powder, cat litter, cooler with my discs in there for disc golf, another bottle jack, fishing net, another tube, more moonshade stuff, and fishing rod. Just essentials. Now it's sweet to be able to carry all this extra stuff around. Again, this is just one box. The other box is all my tools and our grill. I can't imagine trying to do full-time life without the toolboxes. We've changed out different stuff in there over time. They've gone through probably like 3 to 4 different variations of what we had in them. Now, let's get back to how we're gonna corral our 4,000 plus pound camper. The first thing we have is underneath the camper already. I'm gonna insert a clip right here of when I was loading the camper onto the truck recently. One of the first key critical items that you need is a rubber stall mat. So I got this rubber mat off of Amazon. The rubber mat is strongly recommended for truck camper ownership, whether you're doing a pickup truck or a flatbed. You need something in there to add extra friction. Otherwise, it has a tendency to move around on the metal, whether it's the bare metal of your truck bed, like I was saying, or a flatbed. I had a time when we were very early on in our truck camper ownership where we were going skiing in New York, and I went through a runoff, like a little drainage ditch at a ski mountain, and I didn't see it, and I was moving at probably like 10 or 15 miles an hour. The camper slid, broke a turnbuckle, and our door kind of jammed because everything twisted, so we couldn't get in. Had to drive 2 hours home that night. After that incident is when I added my rubber stall mat. So these beautiful works of custom art are guides that I made back probably 4 years ago now, actually. Oh, I'll put one down because they're heavy. So these are nothing more than angle iron, I think is the right term. 90 degrees steel, and then a 2x4 that I tapered the edge of, courtesy of a suggestion from another truck camper friend, this guy Ron, who's been doing this for a really long time. He's also got a flatbed. So yeah, he said, tape your edges so that way when you're raising and lowering the truck camper on and off, it'll kind of funnel its way right into where you want it on the flatbed. The other thing that I did was I welded the bolt into the piece of angle iron. The reason I did that is so that I don't have to have a person on the top holding the top of the bolt while I'm doing the nut from the bottom. I can just drill the holes into the flatbed, drop this bad boy in there, and then go underneath and put the nut on with a washer, and that'll hold it in place. So first step, let's kind of lay this in there and mark where we're gonna do a hole for each one of these 2 bolts that we got. So I took a quick measurement before committing to where I want to put each one of these guides. Currently the camper is off center by a ½ inch. I know it's not a lot, I shouldn't sweat it. I want it to be centered. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of room on this side so that in the future when I unload the camper I can try and center it a little bit better. It's only a ½ inch gap that I'm leaving, so it's really not a lot. For my 1/2 inch reference, I think I'm gonna just use my fingertips and say that that's gonna be close enough. Take my trusty marker. Good enough for government work. Just gonna give each hole a little paint zap. Oh, yep, camper got a little black paint on it. It'll be all right. All right, trial number 1. Probably should have test fitted this before painting those holes, because the odds this fits on the first try are slim to none. Oh, come on. Needs a love tap. There it is. Why use a hammer when you have a perfectly good lithium battery you can beat the crap out of? Ah, gonna need a hammer. All right, so gonna grab washer, lock washer, and a nut. Head underneath. There she is in all her glory. That stud bolt. Oh, they should get some never sees put on them. Oh, I have to go get up. I promised myself on this new truck, anything that I take apart and have to put back together, if it doesn't require Loctite, it's getting never sees put on it, so that I don't have to fight taking things apart again. Gotta believe that's tight enough, even if it is only a cheap old Ryobi. Here we go. The hold and the delivery. Oh yeah, that's tight. That's gonna hurt. Oh yeah, she's on there. All right, so let's check out how it looks final product style on these guides. So I never really measured how far from the back or the front the guide is. I just kind of eyeballed it, wanted it semi-centered, and I've got that nice gap that I was looking for there, a little tight. The nice part is that if I do end up taking the camper off and I want to try and get this thing perfectly center and achieve that extra 1/2 inch, then I could just kind of cut away some of the wood even, just to shave things down there and get the extra space without having to re-drill holes. So the other side is gonna look pretty much the exact same. I've taken the box off already. You can see the box on the ground. There's all the stuff that goes in the box. The only difference with this side is that we're gonna have no gap between the guide and the camper. I'm gonna have the guide tucked as tight as possible up to the camper, so we don't have any ability for it to slide over at all. Remembering that this thing is just off center by about 1/2 inch to the passenger side of the truck. So when we set that guide in there, we'll push it up super tight, then mark our hole, and bing, bang, boom, keep it moving. So I did go ahead and throw a tape measure on the other side, checking the guide against the distance from the end of the flatbed. 25 3/4 inches, so gonna try and get it kind of close. All right, so test fit went super smoothly. Now just gotta throw a little paint on it so we don't rust out this bed nearly as fast as the other truck. Okay. Give that a few minutes to dry and in she'll go. So these will do an excellent job keeping this camper from moving around at all from side to side. Super pumped to have these back on the new rig after having had them on the old rig, knowing how effective they are at keeping things from moving around. So as you can see, I put the toolboxes back on. The one and final thing that we use to keep our truck camper in place on our flatbed is, it's these guys right here. 2 torque lift fast gun turnbuckles per side. That's what's gonna keep this truck camper in place. So let's go put these on real quick. Now, I did a full video on installing these and also what I had to do in order to make them fit for the flatbed. Had to shorten these up a tiny little bit, but to put them on, remove the pin, I put, oh no, I put the toolbox on the wrong spot. Hello, as you can see, it is not the same day. It's a little rainy out here today. In closing, just wanted to say that these torque lift turnbuckles are an essential for any truck camper setup, whether it's a flatbed or a pickup body. And between these 3 items, this is how we keep our big old truck camper mounted to our big old truck. Just want to say thank you for being here. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it informative. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, turn on notifications. We got more stuff coming at you for this Ram 5500 truck camper setup. Bye.